Hello audience, this is Lokex Stratus here on my new handy dandy camera. This will be my first video with it that is not a vlog. This is a deck video for my new Tuningware Synchro deck. Main purpose is to bring out Shooting Star Dragon, so I guess you call it my Shooting Star Dragon deck. I'll figure out something in the title. Anywho, I'm also going to be trying out new editing software, hopefully, if it works. If not, then you'll just see everything. So without further ado, I'll start the deck profile. I'll let you know right now, the only proxies left in the deck are my two Formula Synchron, which I have already ordered and are in the mail. So whenever they get here, I may make another video and delete this one. Without further ado, here's my Tuningware Synchro deck. As you can see, the namesake, Tuningware, is up first. It's 1, 2, 3 Tuningware. Card advantage galore. Great for getting off very destructive junk destroyers. Easy to get to my Stardust Dragon. It's just a very good card, which is why the deck is built around it. Next up we have 1, 2, 3 Dark Sea Rescue. Almost as good as Tuningware, just not with the level modulation. I usually use this guy to get to my Brionac, and since the deck generates such sick hand advantage, Brionac can usually be the game-winning move, just because I can remove their whole field. I also want to add in here that if I ever get my hands on 2 Solemn Warning and a Pot of Duality, they will both go in this deck because they would just be amazing for it. Next up we have 1, 2, 3 Cyber Valley. It's a good first turn gambit, especially if you use it along with Machine Duplication. You can put out 3 on the first turn, negate their first attack, then when it comes to your turn, remove the other 2 from play to draw 2 more cards. Get yourself set up to make some explosive plays. Next up we have 1, 2, 3 Junk Synchron. This is the main tuner of the deck. His synergy with Tuningware and Dark Sea Rescue is just insane. You can get a whole lot of really good combos off just by using him. Alright. Next up we've got 1, 2 Krebons. You know him, you love him. Good for stalling. Good for basically any sort of prolonged tuning you'd like to do, because he can be set down on the first turn and will most likely live to the second turn. Next up we have 2 Cyber Dragon. Not really much to say here. Good special summon. Works out great with my 3-star Junk Synchron to get out some early 8 stars. Really no reason not to run him in a deck that runs Junk Synchron. If I called Junk Synchron Junk Warrior earlier in this, I am so sorry. Next up we've got 1 Blackwing Gale the Whirlwind. Once again, fairly standard tuner to run in any deck that focuses on synchro summoning. Can get around my opponent's Stardust Dragons, and just generally a good card. Plague Spreader Zombie, no-brainer again in a synchro-based deck. Next we have Mind Master. Since you've seen 2 Grievous and a Mind Master, you can pretty much assume that I'm running Emergency Teleport. Really, this guy is here mostly to get out my Formula Synchrons. I can recycle him over and over again, so it's fairly easy. Next up we've got Sangan. Can grab about any card in the deck that I need for a combo. Same with Mystic Tomato. Can just get my strategies up and rolling. Next up is a personal favorite in this deck, Chaos Sorcerer. I'm actually thinking about upping him to 2. I keep on going back and forth between 1 and 2 Chaos Sorcerers, just because he's so very good for both removal, swinging, and he's good tuning material with my Krebons. Next up we've got Glores, fairly standard. And Tragodia. I've been really getting to like Tragodia in this build just because of how many cards I can draw into my hand. He can be a real powerhouse. Also, he really enables me to tune more often because of his effects. Here, we'll go on there, so if you don't know its effects, you can read it. But yeah, Trigodia, been a really good tech in this deck. Next up, we've got 1, 2, 3 machine duplication for obvious reasons. Can duplicate, there are a possibility of 9 targets in my deck that this can use. And it just generates insane combos. Next up is Desynchro. If I had 3, I'd probably run 3, but I only have 2 at the moment. It's a very good universal card. I've been enjoying it for the added draw power I get from desynchroing a synchro monster that I made using Tuningwares or Darksea Rescues just to draw 3 more cards after it. And I've been using it to get rid of my opponent's synchro monsters, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. Next up, of course, we have Monster Reborn. What can we say here? Combos, comebacks, it's got it all. And mine was ultra rare. We've got Emergency Teleport. Pretty self-explanatory. Not really anything to say here besides the synchro summoning possibilities. I've got a Lore of Darkness. We've got, I think, 12 or 15 targets in the deck, so that's a pretty good card. Reinforcement of the Army just helps me get to Junk Synchron faster. Mind Control. This card serves a dual purpose in my deck. It can enable me for some pretty big synchro summon moves and get some good card advantage. And it's also great in combination with Cyber Valley. I can steal their monster, then tribute, or remove from play it and Cyber Valley and draw 2 cards, therefore adding me 2 cards and losing my opponent one of their key monsters. This is a good way to get rid of a Stardust Dragon. 1 for 1, obviously. I have so many 1-stars, and this is the card that I use most of the time to get to my Mind Master and make Formula Synchron. Foolish Burial, self-explanatory. Dark Hole, self-explanatory. I'm only running 5 traps right now, and to be honest, I'd probably take out my bottomless trap holes for Solemn Warnings. Or if you have a better idea that I wouldn't have to remove any of the traps I currently have in and still put in Solemn Warnings, I'm open to it. Leave that in the comment section below. But anyway, my 5 traps currently are Solemn Judgment, Mirror Force, Call of the Haunted, and 2 bottomless trap hole. It's been working out pretty well. I'm just afraid that in order to keep my combos more consistent, I'm going to need the Solemn Warnings to stave off the responses. What else is there? That's pretty much it. I have a sideboard that I will put in the video that I post after I get my Formula Synchrons, the real ones, because the sideboard is really a whole bunch of tech. It has 2 Enemy Controller, 2 Book of Moon, 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, 2 My Body as a Shield. It's just really good. But I'll show you my extra deck before we wrap up this video. Sorry, this is a little bit of a botched video. This is my first time using this new camera. Alright. So let's see, as far as synchros, we've got 2 Shooting Star Dragon, the card that I am most trying to get to. We've got 2 Stardust Dragon. We've got 1 Mistworm. This card is so easy to get to in this deck, it would blow your mind. It's just really, really good, generating lots of advantage. We've got 1 Red Archfiend Dragon for anyone who tries to turtle up and go defensive. We've got Colossal Fighter, and this deck is very, very easily capable of pulling off the combo that's been running around where you create your Colossal Fighter, and then you make an Armory Arm, and you equip the Armory Arm to your opponent's monster, and you keep on attacking. And because Armory Arm says your opponent takes the damage equal to the destroyed monster's attack, they'll take 2,800 points of damage every time you suicide the Colossal Fighter because it is still equipped on your side of the field. Pretty cool, huh? Alright. We got Junk Destroyer, huge advantage card in this deck. I've seriously turned entire games around just by using this card. We've got one Black Rose Dragon, pretty standard. One Goyo Guardian. One Brionic, very much a win condition for this deck, just because of how many cards I'm drawing all the time. I have ended up with between 12 and 16 cards in my hand. We've got Catastor. We've got Army Arm. It's very important for me to have at least one Synchro of every level in this deck because of how much findangling I can do with my desynchro combos. And then here are the proxies. I'm using Junk Warrior for the proxies for my 2 Formula Synchron. Alright, that's it. I actually may put up a video with the sideboard later on today, but that's all I have for you right now. Let's see if I can get my video editing software to work. But until next time, which will probably be fairly soon, this is Lokex Stratus out. Boop.